Hello, my name is Alexio, and today we're going to be talking about Normani. Normani finally released her debut album, Dopamine, last Friday, and I want to share my thoughts. First off, I want to say that seeing this album actually come to fruition after 6 years is so crazy. Year after year, I would hope that she would release that album or release new music, and we just never got it. But now, finally, after what feels like a lifetime, we finally have Normani's first official musical offering out in the world. The album officially opens with Big Boy, a track Normani already teased in an Instagram Live in early April. The track is an homage to the South, and specifically Houston, where Normani was raised. Stara, who also collaborated with Normani on Wild Side, features here and adds a lot of energy to this already bouncy track. As an opener, it's great, and it tells us what we can expect to hear for the rest of the album. The next 3 tracks back to back are some of the best songs on the album. Still, the second track on the album is a chill trap song, and Normani really shines here. It's the first song without a featured artist, and in the verses, she seems confident and self-assured, and the song has a great vibe and atmosphere to it. It's definitely one of my favorites on the album. All Yours is a slower, sultry, and sensual R&B vibe, and I can definitely see the potential for this track's danceability whenever she decides to tour for this album. It's another one of my favorites. Lights On is another smooth R&B track where Normani gets a little freaky, but this time with the lights on. It shares a similar vibe with All Yours, but it's a bit more erotic, and this one is also one of my favorites. Take My Time is pop money through and through, and I love it. I love her voice on this song, and I love how summery the production is. It's a perfect song for the summer, and it has great replay value. The 6th track, Insomnia, takes us a different route and shows Normani being vulnerable. Victoria Monet helped pen this record, and her and Normani really pushed their pen. The lyrics are so deep and personal, and she delivers some great vocals on this song. Speaking of vocals, the vocal Bible herself, Brandy, does some backgrounds for this song, and it brings the song to an entirely different level. Insomnia is one of Normani's first ballads, and it's a standout track on the album. The next song, Candy Paint, is also another standout track, and hearing the full thing outside of the snippets is very satisfying. The beat is infectious, and the potential for this song to be a hit is truly there. It just needs the right push. Grip has some really interesting production choices, and at first, I didn't really like it, but after a few listens, I got into it, and it definitely has that early 2000s kind of feel. It's not one of my favorites, but I wouldn't skip it if it came on. 159 featuring Gunna takes on a whole new life in this album, and it's grown on me so much. When she first released it, I kinda paid it dust because I wanted Candy Paint first, but after a while, the song just got stuck in my head, and I find myself singing it all the time now. It's weird, but I kinda like it a little bit more than Candy Paint. The song just has a certain quality to it that resonates with me, and it became one of my favorites off of the album. Distance is another ballad, and I like this one a lot less than Insomnia, but it's still a solid track in my opinion. There is a great guitar section towards the end of the song, and it adds some dimension to the production, and it makes it feel cinematic. Although this one isn't one of my favorites, I can still appreciate it for what it is. The next track, Tantrums featuring James Blake, is Normani's favorite track, and I can see why. It's unlike anything she's ever done. It's dark, gritty, and experimental. It kind of gives me Chloe X Halle / Tinashe vibes, and I love the sound for her. This song takes us to a completely different kind of place than the rest of the album, and this is truly another one of the standout tracks. Little Secrets is the second to last track on the album, and this honestly is my least favorite track. As much as it pains me to say this, it's the only song I'd skip. Nothing about the song is bad per se, it's just not my cup of tea. But the album closes off great with Wild Side featuring Cardi B, and it gives me a full circle moment seeing that Wild Side was her last era, and around that time we didn't have a lot of certainty about new music, but now we have her first full album. Overall, I feel like the album was cohesive, it was grown, it was sexy, and it was confident. It's a great first effort for Normani, and honestly, I'm just happy to say that I've listened to Normani's debut album. The rollout was a bit of a mess, and I wish we had visuals to accompany these songs, but hopefully those come sooner than later. Everything that we have gotten visually is wonderful though. There is a clear intent and vision for the styling/photography. I'm loving the bangs on Normani, and I love how we can associate this era with the color black and the end signal that she's starting to incorporate into her image. I hope the album performs well, and I definitely will be streaming and buying. But the main takeaway from this album to me is much deeper than charts and sales and numbers. This album is a celebration of self and self-love as well as romantic love, and it feels like it's laying the groundwork for Normani to finally become one of this generation's biggest pop stars. Those were my thoughts on Dopamine. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye!